Hello everyone, good morning. Welcome back to the Hearthstone ladder. My name is Rooster and this is Token Druid, because that's the proper name for a deck like this. We visited this deck before last month, I think. It looked a little bit different. I've been experimenting with the deck a little bit, played it quite a bit in the past few days, and it's turned out to be decent. I won't say exceptional, because it isn't, but it should function decently against, for example, the more aggressive versions of Warrior. So that's pretty good. We're keeping none of this. And the deck happens to have Yogg in it, but this is not a Yogg deck, as should apply to most decks that happen to have Yogg in them, because relying on Yogg is not exactly the best way to go in most occasions. It's just a spell-heavy token druid deck that happens to have Yogg in it, and that's fine. I could ramp some more next turn. I'm not sure about that. I do know I definitely am I worried about the pirate coming up. I'll have to do that next turn. If he wants to coin out a blood sail, then I guess that's kind of okay. We'll just have to live with it. It's a dragon warrior, of course. I've been facing against this deck a lot lately. We cannot easily deal with the fairy dragon, so that's actually kind of annoying. I'm thinking I might go Mire Keeper here, although that's actually not that exciting, but neither is Hero Power Wrath. So it's going to be Mire Keeper, and will I make a token in that case? I can still Azure Drake next turn, and the token is probably fine. Let's go with that. There's no need to ramp here, I think, although the deck does suffer from running out of cards a little bit. So that's an issue where Yogg can definitely help. Blood Ichor on that. Okay, so he's able to kill those off without hurting the fiery dragon. Well, the fairy dragon, actually, because that's the name. And that's kind of an annoying card, I will admit. Are we going for Azure Drake here? He's used his weapon, so there's a decent chance the Azure Drake might still. Oh, apparently my browser just crashed. I don't know what's going on, but yeah, I think I'll go Azure Drake here. That gives us the opportunity to Violet Teacher Wrath next turn, and it'll just fit the curve a bit better. I don't even like the Innervate over here now. If it has a ghoul, then that's fine, I guess, because he's still hurting his minions. That means we can Hero Power them off next turn, so that's okay. Or Wrath for one, which is not awful. And trades the 2/2. That is actually fine. That Fairy Dragon is really, really annoying, I will admit, but not too much we can do about that, can we? I'm thinking we Violet Teacher Raven Idol for a spell, and then we see what we get from that. If there's anything that lets me deal with these minions here, that would be pretty sweet. A swipe is not going to work, but a Power of the Wild could, I guess. I don't like it too much. We don't have too many beasts, so that's not too exciting either. Soul of the Forest is a little optimistic, I think. We could make it work with the Wisps, but that's... no, I think I'll take the Power of the Wild here. So we're definitely innovating, and... well, the Wrath isn't really doing anything, so I guess we might as well Power of the Wild here. And hope we don't suffer too much damage right here. But that's still pretty good, right? Now the 5/4 can't easily trade into the 4/6, into the 3/5 anymore, because it's now a 4/6, so that's pretty good. Ghoul doesn't wreck my board anymore, and the 2/2 provides a really decent trade into the 3/2, so that's good. it is good enough that he might just decide to go face, and I don't really have a great answer to that, so that is mildly concerning, I will admit. And that may just be his answer right now, just going face for 11. Oh, well, that's good news, I guess. Because the trades are still in my favor, I think. If I can just trade off the 2/2s this turn... Yeah, that might as well go face. If I Wrath the Alexstrasza's champion, though, that is still pretty good for me. And the Druid of the Claw will do nicely along with that, so yeah, I like where this is going. Alternatively, we could Wisps of the Old Gods for +6/+6 in total, and that would mean we can trade and we can go face for 4. I'm not sure that's the greatest idea. Although it might be a good use of the Wisps card, and we may not have an opportunity like that later. So if we Wrath and then Druid, then we are left with a 2/2 and a 4/6, and on the alternative... No, I like the Wrath better here. I do like the Wrath better. Even though this is perhaps a little risky against Execute or something, it should still be pretty decent. The Wisps are a little awkward, so we are going to need a decent top deck. That is the only disadvantage of this play, I think. The advantage of the Wisps is that we actually have a useful turn the turn after, and that is worthwhile. And this is trouble. Well, let's assume he doesn't have a great answer, right? So in that case, we can just Mire Keeper for an additional... We should probably Mire Keeper for an additional mana, shouldn't we? But Wisps next turn could still be pretty good. If we get anything mildly useful. Alternatively, we could Wisps now. That's actually kind of terrible because he hasn't played a Ghoul yet, and he's pretty much expecting that, right? So I think I'm just making tokens and gambling on a decent Wisps next turn. It's not going to be a decent Wisps next turn, because he can always kill a minion. If he kills this, then I'm taking a lot of damage to the face. It's never going to be a good turn here. Let's go for mana, because I'm expecting I need to Yogg next turn. I don't think I'm going to get a decent Wisps next turn, so that means I'm playing Yogg, probably. And this lets me do that. Yeah, the problem here is that either he kills us, or he trades into this, and he trades into a minion, and I have 2 minions on the field, and then Wisps is really unimpressive. So either I would have Wisped. This is such an awkward name. So yeah, he knows what time it is. But yeah, I still think the call is to trade into the 3/3, because otherwise I could, for example, well, in this case no, okay, so that's correct, because I could trade into the 9/5 and then just build a board again. That's pretty nasty, so I'm going to need a decent Yogg next turn. Mulch is not awful, but I think we're dead unless we mulch this. We're pretty dead if we don't Yogg here. So let's trade into this thing, which I think is going to be the right call most of the time, and then pray for a decent Yogg here. Yogg hasn't been too kind to me until today, but oh, please don't. It's not good. Well, at least it killed the other one. And we are no longer a Druid. Well, that's a better hero power, so that didn't help. Well, we might not be dead. We might not necessarily be dead, but that's not the greatest Yogg ever, and I suppose... I suppose we didn't cast all that many spells after all. That's a lot of charge damage, so we would have been dead in a lot of situations there. Would the game be different if I played the Wisps? The Wisps wouldn't really do anything, I think. With the Mulch top deck, I think we could have won if I used the Wisps for 5/1/1s. That could have been the play. That seems really off to me now. But yeah, some games you just lose. But he was low enough that he really needed to finish me off quickly, or we would have taken over. That was only a Yogg for 4-5 spells, though. I should keep track of the amount of spells that I have cast in a game. That's actually kind of relevant information as to whether Yogg is even going to be worth playing. In this situation, I didn't have a lot of choice. Excuse me while I pour myself a drink, because my throat does not like what I'm doing right now. Which is talking a lot. Do we keep the Power of the Wild against... I don't think we keep the Power of the Wild. The Living Roots is good enough against the Warlock. Could also be kind of awkward on turn 1 if he plays a Voidwalker, of course, but in that case we can still trade, so it's not the worst. Alternatively, we can just keep it and still... Yeah, keeping it around might be the better option right now. Because we can use it with Thalmos for 3 damage, or we can... or we can not run it into a Voidwalker. That's decent. So, do we want to Raven Idol here? I don't think so. We can still Living Roots next turn. I'm pretty much always hitting that, right? That allows us to Hero Power again next turn against, for example, a Divine Shield or something. That seems okay.
Buying or selling.
So our opponent is still hanging on to the coin, which is curious. Might be coming out this turn, actually. So against the Warlock, you should really be looking for swipes. If you're not drawing a swipe, then you're having a pretty rough time. Zoo in general is, I don't think, is a great matchup. But I could, of course, be wrong about that. Let's discover a spell. You usually want to discover a spell, and I don't think this is an exception. Could go for the taunt on Thalmos. That's going to be next turn. It seems rather weak. We can just Raven Idol into Raven Idol, and that's not the worst. Just cast a couple more spells. And then we could still Living Roots the 2/2, or... Moonfire's not bad with Thalmos, actually. As strange as that may seem. We could also Wild Growth and try and ramp him out. That might actually be the better idea here. So in that case, I'm casting Wild Growth next turn and probably Hero Powering, so let's just kill that and see what we're dealing with. A possible answer against the Councilman I don't have, so that's kind of a problem, as well as an answer to Knife Juggler, so that's also trouble. Coin coming out. I would have taken a Starfall, I think, if given the opportunity. That's a pretty good card against 2 in general. But alas, it was not in the books for us. I think we just want to cycle at this point. We have 6 mana next turn and not really anything to do with it. And cycling is going to be more worthwhile than just Hero Powering down the Voidwalker again, I think. It might just die to a juggle, but in that case it saves us 1 health and we draw a card, and the Thalmos plus swipe would be pretty good, though. Raven Idled twice and didn't really get an answer. Maybe I should have taken the Moonfire. I could have definitely been wrong about that. That is pretty dirty, though. There's a lot of damage coming my way, and there's not a whole lot I can do about that, aside from innervating out the Ancient of War, which likely doesn't even do a whole lot. It's the best thing we have, right? So we better hope this at least blocks a decent amount of damage, otherwise we are pretty SOL for now. Yeah, you're really going to need your swipes in this matchup. Not a whole lot a Druid can do against a board full of little guys. And Argus is still a pretty good card, after all. Well, it's blocking a decent amount of damage at the very least, so that's good. Board isn't too impressive anymore. I'm starting to think I should have kept the Thelnos though, because I wasn't going to win this game unless I got swipe somehow. And Thelnos plus swipe is a really big get. I will kill the knife juggler here, and we might still be able to get out of this hole, but not holding out, definitely. He doesn't seem to have power overwhelming though, so that's kind of good. Let's see what he has. Might just tap and maybe get a Direwolf. Oh, Direwolf would let him trade 2 minions in, but it's still not that great. Same applies here. Oh, why not just... Oh, he's just flooding, I guess. Can't really blame him. So trading that one in and then the 4/4, I presume? That would kind of make sense. So we're still going to need a Starfall or something here. There's a lot of minions with 3 health at this point. I don't think we can make this work, but maybe Nourish has an answer that I didn't think of. Yeah, you're a little late, son. You're a little late. That is unfortunate. But Zoo definitely not good. This deck would rather fight warriors all day, even though we didn't put a shining performance against that warrior, but I think I might have just taken the wrong approach, or we just didn't have a good start and he did. I'm not sure about that. But I'll definitely choose warrior over warlock any any day of the week with a deck like this. So a couple of cards that have been rather popular in Token Druid is first of all Onyxia, which is rather surprising because that's the first time in 2 years I've seen that card played in Constructed, so that's pretty amazing. Wild Growth is a nice card. Azure Drake Swipe is good. Are we keeping Azure Drake and Swipe against Mage? I'm not sure what to expect when we're fighting a Mage, to be honest. Maybe we just want a mulligan for Keeper, for Vital Teacher, I mean. Maybe we do. I kind of want to keep the Swipe, and keeping the Swipe makes me want to keep the Azure Drake too. But that's probably wrong. Let's do it this way. Well, we got an Azure Drake anyway, so yeah, we're ramping alright.
My greetings.
So expecting a Tempo Mage here, and that might mean there's a couple of minions that I should be worried about pretty soon.
My greetings.
Although turn 1 didn't turn out to be too impressive, so that's kind of good.
Hello.
And that seems like a pretty good start. I don't think the Mage has a good way of getting rid of Fandral, and that would mean... Well, we cannot use Nourish on the turn after, right? So if we Fandral next turn, then we actually can. That seems like a much better idea. Or we can Fandral on a turn immediately with something useful. Perhaps something from the top of our deck, that would be nice. A secret. So expecting Freeze Mage here, which is definitely not one of our premier matchups here, but I think Fandral will be fine. She'll have to fireball it. Am I content with her fireballing Fandral? I think I am.
What to do?
I think I am actually fine, and we need to mount some pressure here. Just judging from the fact that she hasn't really done anything yet, of course. Did she not even... She didn't even do anything on turn 2. That's actually curious. So this Doomsayer is gonna die, and that's pretty good. I'm pretty content with this Fandral already. And we can even Nourish for double, and I really like that idea. So likely going to be an Innervate Wrath still, but let's get some value out of this Nourish while we can, shall we? Oh, we don't even have to Innervate in that case. In that case, we should have played the Violet Teacher first. I am not quite used to playing with Nourish for mana crystals, it seems. Oh, but then we couldn't have Wrath. Of course, that does make sense. So, are we still Wrathing, and we're saving the coin and the Innervate for it? Yeah, sure. How many cards do we have? We have 9. 9 is excellent. 9 is excellent. I don't mind that. And we've got a pretty big turn coming up, so that's good. I like that. We've even got the Soul of the Forest, so that's going to be sweet. We've got a possible 11 mana next turn. Yeah, we could have... No, there was no choose one that we really needed to make use of last turn, so that's fine. So Violet Teacher into... we have 11, so... What else do we do? There isn't really too much to do with the additional mana, right? So we could just go for an Ancient. Instead, would that be better? I don't think so. So let's just go Violet Teacher. I guess we can Thelnos along with it. Do we need to Thelnos? I don't think we need to Thelnos. So Thelnos Innervate. Do we still coin? I think we cash in the coin for an additional... Sure. That's probably fine. So just make her board wipe twice, and that's going to be pretty good. I think building a resilient board is going to be quite important. So she's going to have to board wipe this twice, and that's kind of resilient. And we could top deck into some useful things. Basically cashed in the coin for an additional 1/1 and an additional 2/2, so that's pretty good. What comes out here? Frostbolt and then pings that one. That is entirely okay with me. So we've got a pretty decent board here, and that is a pretty good top deck also. So definitely don't mind that. What do we want to play along with it? I guess we'll go Azure Drake. And that'll be a pretty menacing board even in the face of Flame Strike, right? Yeah, so we're definitely doing this. And then we can just Hero Power along with it, which is absolutely fine, because that will kill the Thelnos easily. So let's see what the secret is here. We're facing Ice Block, that's fine. Do we want to give her the opportunity to trade into one of the minions? I don't think so. So Thelnos needs to die, that's fine. And I could have made the argument that that using a 2/2 to kill the Thelnos would have given me 1 armor. And that is definitely valuable against a mage, of course, but this is still a pretty good situation in my opinion. We do need to be careful about a future board wipe coming up. But I guess that's what the Ancients are for, right? If, for example, a Flame Strike or a second... We can just assume she's dead against... How about we Uproot? Is Uproot really... I'm really tempted to Uproot here. Could we have broken the block? We can't break the block this turn, but if we Uproot... We can absolutely do that unless she Blizzards or Frost Novas. Can we get a situation in which we can still do that? No, I think we can't. In that case, I don't think there's a need to do that, because we can still break. We can still break if we do this, because we can then swipe face, attack with this. Yeah, so there's no difference. If she Blizzards or Frost Novas, we can't break the block next turn anyway. I would have liked for Uproot to be the correct choice there, but I'm pretty sure it's not.
I hope you like my invention.
Okay, so she's cycling an awful lot, and that means we're breaking this turn, so definitely attacking this, and not sacrificing this one, I guess. So there's the ice block broken. Pretty sure we're also hero powering because that's the only thing that gives us actual survival here. Let's cycle this. Just for some more info. I don't think we need it at any time soon. And let's just hero power just in case. No need to play an additional minion because we might top deck a Druid of the Claw for lethal. I don't know. Yeah, when Freeze Mage has to face a board like that, that can be rather rough. I do think the Soul of the Forest play was correct, and that might have won us this game. There was probably no way she was going to survive that, so that's pretty good. Alright, we won a game, hooray! And let's see what else we face on the ladder. So I've been thinking, by the way. I was on this tangent about Nyxia, I think. Another card that could also definitely fit this deck is Cenarius. Same applies as to Nyxia. I don't own the card, and I would be crafting them pretty much only for this exact deck, so that doesn't seem very worthwhile to me. I don't think we keep Power of the Wild. We just need either something big or a teacher to innovate out, and that seems pretty good. So let's see how we can do with this.
The light protects me.
An aggressive opener. Do I mind that? I don't mind that at all. I will just Living Roots here, because that trades and lets me Wrath or Hero Power next turn, and it's still fine. Alright. Expecting a bit of a more aggressive Hunter in this case. And that is really annoying. I'm thinking I'll trade into the 3-2 here. I could just Wrath for not a card, and that might be correct here. Let me think about that for a little bit. Could Wrath and clear his board, or he doesn't have a coin, so what comes out next turn? Animal Companion, probably. We could save the Wrath and just face that. That might be a better idea. Sure, if Animal Companion comes out, I would like the ability to Wrath that if necessary. I think that's a better path to take. Just keeping the Wrath for something you absolutely need to use Wrath on. Okay, at least we won that one, but giving him a Fiery Bat I suppose isn't really that scary. That's a really aggressive Hunter deck, I think. Might be one of those that include... what am I trying to say? Oh, Direwolves. Yeah, Direwolves. So what do we do here? I guess we Raven Idol Wrath. We Wrath the Beast, of course, because otherwise a Houndmaster comes out. And I still like the swipe enough for next turn, so that's okay. Let's see if we can get some additional swipes, that would be nice. Or additional innervates, I don't mind that either. That means I can Teacher and swipe next turn, that's pretty sweet. Or we can Teacher this turn, is that good? We can innervate, Teacher... No, we can't do that. No. Okay, this is fine in that case. Let's just Wrath this before it gets Houndmastered. And then we have Teacher plus 5 additional mana next turn. That's pretty sweet. I would like to Teacher before the Ancient of War. That's also kind of important. Swipe's going to be pretty good next turn, I think. Yeah, yes, Swipe is going to be pretty good. He's not really mounting a lot of pressure here. So I'm expecting some expensive cards in his hand. That is the flip side, of course. But this seems pretty sweet to me. So double Innervate into Swipe your face, sir. Swiping face isn't really the most efficient, but I'm certainly okay with that. Losing 1 to that thing, do I want to cash this in? No, I can always cash it in with the second teacher. I don't want to run into Unleash, because then any amount of 1/1s is just not going to matter. Unleash is a card he would have kept in that hand. So there's something. He could have another Beast, but that's doubtful. I don't think he can Beast and Kill command this turn, because his Beasts will be too expensive. Any cheap beast he would have played last turn, so that's pretty good. No animal companions, no infested wolves, no King's Alex, because he already used those. So one of his cards is a Houndmaster, and I should keep that in mind, but we have 2 more turns. Well, including this turn, it's 3 more turns before the Call of the Wild comes out, so that's pretty good. Okay, let's see what we get here. That is not brilliant, but I guess I can just... That's really weak against Unleash. We could hero power this and trade a couple 1/1s in, how's that? Then I have double Violet Teacher. It does delay the Ancient for a turn. I guess we can actually Teacher without... I kinda like that. How about we just trade the Teacher, trade this, and save the coin for the Ancient next turn? I think I like that. Because the Ancient's going to be really powerful unless he unleashes plus kill commands here. That's basically the only thing that's going to be of use here. That could be an explosive trap. Do I want to check for that? If he just hero powers, then that's an explosive trap, I guess. If he kills the 1/1... Okay, trap and unleash. Interesting. So that's going to be a freezing trap then. And that means I don't mind attacking with the Violet Teacher, I guess. This seems really weak right now, unfortunately, but yeah, let's attack first. Oh, that's not a freezing trap. That's curious. In that case, I'm definitely coining and Ancient. There we go. So that's either a bear or an explosive. That means the 1/1 is a little unimpressive, I guess. That's a second Houndmaster then. Okay, interesting. And I guess that means we are using Wisps here. Wisp seems pretty sweet still, even though I get a +8/+8 from it, so that's pretty good. Also means that the Teacher can trade into this. That's still a little brave. Teacher can trade into this one now, or the student can actually change. Oh, I like that. I like where that's going. Okay.
I'm ready to learn.
So we're making this trade. I guess we'll attack face first. No, I always want to kill this, and I guess we don't need to attack face here, right? That does put on a nice clock, though. If it's bear, is that bad? If it's bear, that's pretty bad. If it's explosive, that's also... If it's explosive, that doesn't really matter. But it's bad enough against bear trap that I'm willing to not attack here. Because being able to play around that is more worthwhile, I think. Ooh, 50-50, okay. I'm not sure that's the target he intended, but he has basically nothing right now. So, definitely willing to try now. I guess giving him a 3/3 bear isn't all that bad. So there's an explosive, okay. Worried about nothing, I suppose, but just in case it's bear, you should have a plan at least. I wasn't expecting... I'm not sure whether to expect a bear trap in a deck as aggressive as that, but one can never be too sure, I think. If I had dealt 5 more damage to him right now, that would have led to a kill next turn, actually. If he didn't top deck Call the Wild here. Well, I suppose a game's never over until it's over, right? We could still be in trouble here. Because that's a pretty damn good top deck. Might have to rely on Yogg for something. Oh, that's good though. Okay, I guess we can flip the board still. So that is nice. If you can top deck that, then I can definitely top deck something like this. Okay. Well, he's going to need his second Call of the Wild or he's done for. And even then, I can just Yogg and still win, probably. Probably. Yogg is always a question of probability. I still... Again, I haven't counted my spells, but it should be better than last time. Alright, well, he didn't top deck it. That's something. Did he pass turn yet? He didn't. Is he still considering whether to play his one card? It's probably better to keep it hidden, but that might give him a turn indeed. A turn to top deck into Call the Wild, perhaps. So I could have gone for Yogg here, but I don't think that's necessary. If I can just get a minion out here, is that good enough? That's probably good enough. I don't like the Soul of the Forest here, but it's better than nothing. It might set up the kill for next turn, I don't know. If he kills the Thalmos, we're going to need 4 damage, and there's definitely a few cards in our deck that deal 4 damage, right? Not an awful lot anymore, I will admit. I guess Living Roots deals 4 damage now. Oh, and we only need 3, by the way, so quick shot my face, okay. Wouldn't you rather fish for the... Oh my gosh. Well, I guess the Soul of the Forest does provide right now. So are we going for the Yogg first? There's a question. I guess we are. Would I rather trade first? I could trade Blood Mage first, I don't know. I don't feel too good about this, but I think... No, you pretty much always want to trade stuff like this, I think, so... Do I want to draw my card first? I don't think so. Let's just go... Let's just not attack at all with that. Let's go Yogg. Blood Mage still lives, so that's something. Buffed something... This is pretty much my life with Yogg, but some good things might still happen. Renounce, well that's familiar. We've seen that. Oh, okay. Well, we still have a turn. That's good. Corruption, that's not bad. Ooh, Swipe is pretty good. Okay. We might have something here. Going up. Oh, we have a bunch of Thalmoses, I guess, and that means this is probably going face. So we get a Leok in hand. With the Ice Barrier up, I can safely attack face. Otherwise, I would have probably attacked into the Leok. So there's a decent jog at least. That's pretty good. That is the secret he didn't want me to have. He's not going to kill me with that though. So, all right. Well, Yogg did save today, but he can't blame me for being too lucky. He did top deck both of his Call of the Wilds when he most needed them. So I think that was a fair set of RNG. Let's give it one more game, shall we? So there's 2 wins, there's 2 losses, and let's have the decider match and see what we're up against. If I had to choose, what would be my ideal opponent? I guess I could go for Priest. Although that might be... Yeah, Priest is probably good. Not Aggro Shaman would be nice, although... Actually, Midrange Shaman might be more likely to be able to claim my board, so I like both of these cards, actually. Do I like Fendrel more than Mire Keeper? I'm thinking of dropping one of the two to try and fish for a Wrath, because Aggro Shaman can get out of hand rather quickly. I don't think we need a Mire Keeper. Let's keep the Fendrel and see if we can get something that does better in the early game. I do think that's worthwhile. So, another thing I wanted to talk about, by the way, is updates have been rather slow for the past few days, and it's mostly me getting a little bored with the current meta, and also a desire to put a little more thought in the decks I feature here. So that is also a thing. I would like to give each deck a more thorough look before I actually decide to show it. But it does mean that that for the next, well, until the expansion releases, I will be. Do I need to kill this here? Let me quickly think about that. I do think I need to kill that. Let's Raven Idol for a spell, and then Living Roots hero power it. Oh, it's so good with Fandral though. But if I play Fandral here, then it just dies. We can just Living Roots and not Raven. I don't see us not using Raven Idol here. No. Just dropping Fandral just means it dies and we're not getting the value anyway. I think I'll go for the Mark of the Wild here. That could definitely work. And let's kill that Tunnel Truck before it runs out of hand. We really can't have that. So yeah, I'm probably, until the release of the new adventure on the 11th of August, I will probably stick to one video every 2 days, both to give a little bit of a more unbiased impression about the deck, the ability to actually talk a little bit about the deck before, well, basically running it blindly, which I'm not the biggest fan of right now. I think I just run Fandral out right now. It is something he definitely has to kill. And it's not any less durable than the Violet Teacher. I think the Violet Teacher is actually more important right now. So let's go with Fandral, expect him to kill it, and that's fine. So one video every 2 days, and yeah, really looking forward to the new adventure. I'm not exactly bored with Hearthstone, but it's more. I think I've featured most of the decks I wanted to feature already. And I don't think this is pretty terrible. We're taking 10 next turn. Perhaps I have been a little too conservative, but I can't really fault myself for dealing with the Shrug, right? Should I have Fandrilled on that turn? I don't think so. I don't think that's correct. But this is pretty messed up. We could go for Mark of the Wild plus Violet Teacher. I guess that's kind of okay. Let's go with that. Still has to deal with this, so has to trade in a Totem and the Totem Golem, which means I only take 7. Which isn't too exciting when you say it like that. But yeah, it is the best we got, so we gotta deal the hand we're dealt. We're gonna play the hand we're dealt. That's how it works. Yeah, I'm going to call this a rather weak start, but that is probably my own fault if I kept the cards I kept. Did we have an Innervate? No, we didn't have an Innervate, did we? Oh boy, that's not good. Wait, no, it doesn't really matter for the damage we're taking, right? It does mean that that his Healing Totem can kill the 1/1, or the second Hammer Swing, I guess. Yeah, that's probably reasonable. Okay, so we do have the Ancient of War coming up, which is pretty good. I'm not sure it will be able to stabilize, but it's the best thing we have, so we better... yeah, we better hope it does what it's supposed to do. So he's got 4 damage, 7 damage, 9 damage on the field, silence. So I think that's our death, right? That's 7, that's 11. He needs 1 more damage from hand. So I'm not sure what that's going to be, but I'm expecting him to have it here. Does he or does he not? Not necessarily, I guess, but Earthshock is an odd card. Is that a Lightning Bolt? No, it's not a Lightning Bolt, so we could top deck an Innervate, right? That is not an Innervate. Can we top deck into double Innervate somehow? No, I don't think so. Any other options? No.
Well played.
That is rough, man. I wasn't expecting to lose that game, but I guess you just throw away your 4-drops because they're not good enough if you don't have an Innervate. I guess that's just the moral of the story. Well, we kept the Wild Growth, but it's not good enough. It's not good enough. Aggro Shaman is rough. Oh well. I do hope, despite the less than impressive score so far, you did enjoy this deck. If you liked the video, please let me know If there's a deck you would like to see featured in the coming week or two before the expansion hits, please also give me a shout, and I will see if I can fit it in. And as usual, have a great day, and I will see you again on Monday.